Welcome back to another episode of Late Entry. Normally, you'd be seeing this as a live stream, but since today is my birthday, I'm going to have some plans later tonight. So we are filming this boy at 8 in the morning. So I don't know what the opposite of a nightcap is, but I'm going to go ahead and call it coffee with a cracker.
Hey.
Hosted as always by RBF Kyle.
What up? I'm the cracker.
And your boy Double Dose, the coffee. We're gonna keep this boy nice, short, and sweet. Just a few things to go over. We're gonna hit the Lions, and the two basketball games from last night, and then finish off with some all due disrespect. So, Kyle, I was telling you at the end of the last episode, I was praying that you were not going to jinx us, and you didn't. Tell us about your feelings on this Lions versus Bucs.
I know. That was coming through my mind as I was walking through the doors of Ford Field, embracing the environment. The electricity was insane from the moment we walked in the door. It was so cool. Getting to be up close for that. I haven't been to a game since the Dolphins game right before we beat Aaron Rodgers 3 years ago. And the Packers, and started our win streak and flipped this whole thing around. So I literally, the last time I went to a game was right before all of this hype around us began. So it was really cool to actually experience like the next level of how hype our fans are now and where our fan base is at. And everybody's still so respectful of all the Bucs fans there. Like there was no hostility, plenty of Bucs fans sitting around us. You complain about a call going one way or the other, and you crack a joke at each other, and you move on. It was smooth the whole way through. And then obviously getting to see Gibbs tear down the field and go berserk and watch those cornerbacks be the real MVP of the show. I mean, Hallett, Rock Yassin, those guys. Amik Robertson showed the world that he is him too. Like he is not to be played around with, and he is slowly working. Like we acquired Terrion Arnold, Carlton Davis, and Amik Robertson all last year. And if you would have told me that Amik was like the number one corner for us after all that time, sure, Carlton isn't here anymore, and he was great when he was. But when he got hurt, Amik stepped up as the cornerback one last year, and shut down Justin Jefferson. And the other day he shut down Mike Evans before he got hurt. And they just their defense is so well coached all the way through. Yeah, glad I didn't jinx them. Glad that the defense did enough. The offense was obviously a little sloppy, but they did enough to hold them off. What did you think of the game?
A few things. Just to your, excuse me, early morning voice. Just to your point about like the fans. I'd even sent you a text because I was watching like the broadcast. Obviously, I wasn't at the game, but the announcers were talking about how hard of a time Baker was having hearing because of the crowd noise. Every time you looked at him, he was trying to get the play in from the coach. He got his hands up like this, trying to hear. And I texted you. I was like, "Hey, keep it going, keep it loud."
That's up. Hey, Enzo said like last year. He's like, I noticed that our fans, they don't start screaming until they get like out of the huddle. He's like, start screaming in the huddle. So now you see like the make the noise thing pop up as soon as like and then you could see it multiple times where Baker's trying to communicate to his guys and the guys can't hear him, or Baker can't hear what's going on. Yeah, it was so awesome. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say shout out to the Seahawks. We about to be the new 12th man.
Hell yeah.
But as far as the game goes, I have some pros and I got some concerns. I'm gonna start with the pros first. Jahmyr Gibbs, chef's kiss. I think it's hilarious that Dan was like, yeah, moving forward after the Chiefs loss, I'd like to see more of an even split between Montgomery and Jamo. Or not Jamo, excuse me, Montgomery and Gibbs. And then that turned into 200 and some all-purpose yards for Gibbs. Also, I think it's hilarious. There was the whole, we talked about this too on Sunday night. They were doing the whole running back, running back day? And they were talking about how, there's so much love, and deservingly so, but so much love for Christian McCaffrey and Bijan. Two of the best. They kept saying that two of the best. And Jahmyr Gibbs was sitting at home like, oh, y'all want to see some good football from a running back? Watch this. And proceeded to go off, dog. I'm trying to pull up his stats real quick. because I remember I was texting someone on Sunday night talking about how I was like, damn, I think McCaffrey's going to go for over 200, and I think he finished with 201. Jahmyr Gibbs,
I think
that
it
was
was like
201 all
217.
purpose. That was all purpose Jahmyr Gibbs, or for 201 for McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Jahmyr Gibbs had 136 rush yards and 82 receiving yards.
218 total.
he
Holy.
said he said, yeah, let me pop off real quick and show y'all who the real best running back in the league is. And
That's
yeah,
nuts.
he
I
went
love it.
in. Um, Offense looked good, but honestly, so here's where I'm at with the whole thing. Once again, we've talked about there being a test of, who have we played. Now, Baker, for all intents and purposes, we beat the shit out. Basically, what happened to us against the Chiefs, where our offense couldn't get going, defense couldn't get going, it was a complete collapse. We just paid it forward onto the box. We said, "Hey, here's a smack, and here, hold this for us."
Oh yeah.
And so, yeah, that's what happened to the Bucks, and we did it. So it feels good to get back on track, especially against a good team and a great quarterback like Baker. Now,
Absolutely.
here's all the negatives, right? Or I guess the points of concern that I have. First of all, Baker's number one receiver after Mike Evans got hurt, a quarter into the game, was a rookie, and then his second best, another rookie, and then he had a tight end. That was their offense. Like, they are depleted badly. And so I was texting Matt actually about this, and Matt was saying, like, yeah, but I mean, to be fair, our defense is decimated too. And I was like, okay, I'm with that, but all I'm seeing is then that our second and third stringers are better than their second and third stringers. Okay, cool. What happens when we play somebody like the Eagles? Like,
Mm-hmm.
can our defense hold up against that? That's where my concern is at. Like, we have another win where I'm like, perfect. It's a win. It's in the win column. And honestly, maybe I need to stop thinking like this, at least right now, because the league there's so much parity in the league right now. So it's like, every time we play someone we win, I feel like I'm finding a reason to be like skeptical of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's because when we play someone like the Chiefs, then we lose, and I'm like, well, were the signs there the whole time? But I guess there haven't been any dominant teams this season to where I could feel like, if you beat them, then it's all good. Like, beating the Chiefs would have felt good. But
Yeah.
aside from that, I mean, you can only beat who you play, I guess. So I'm kind of feeling wishy-washy about that situation. But there's that. There's also the aspect of how good really is our offense. Like, we were just gashing them with Jamo. Like, that wasn't an offensive masterclass. That was just, okay,
Oh,
Jamo, hit your head on
Gibbs.
the
Yeah.
goalpost. It was just, I'm sorry, I keep saying Jamo, and
Yeah.
that's because I want to bring Jamo up too. But yes, Gibbs. The whole offense was just Gibbs, hit your head on the goalpost. Like, it wasn't anything creative. It wasn't anything. It was just our offensive line is going to bully you into submission, and Gibbs is going to take it to the house.
Yeah. That was
And I'm
definitely the game plan for sure.
and that's okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's working, then don't change it. Like, just keep hitting them with it repeatedly. To the JMO aspect of it, and it's funny because I had just told you over the weekend when we were talking about fantasy football, and you got JMO in the dynasty league, and I was like, if it was me, he'd be traded immediately. I cannot have someone that inconsistent on my team. And I got you. We played each other in that league, and I got you because JMO put up a goose egg.
Yep.
um. And
I know.
so I don't know if you saw, he posted on Instagram, like on his Instagram story, like one or two, like basically like annoyed pictures.
Hmm.
And it was like, oh, I hope we don't have like a AJ Brown situation happening here.
I don't think so. I really don't. At least I don't think we're gonna ever. I don't know. Maybe we start to see more body language going that way if he doesn't start getting targets. But he was brought up on no block, no rock. He's blocking, and I could see, him doing as good as he is in the run game and blocking. Him also being like, all right, now where's the rock? I can see that, but I mean, Saint has said on his podcast, like, he's had moments where he knows the ball is coming again, but he has to go talk to Jared and be like, hey, what can we work on? What can I do? So you gotta, set that time apart with Jared and just keep building that trust with him. And I know that it sucks too because, like, at the first play of the game, actually, they threw it to Saint, and it was a single high shell, and Jamo had already passed the safety. He was like in a one-on-one streaming up the middle. And I know Goff hadn't gotten there in his read. You could see he hadn't even turned that way yet. And the O-line was, it was collapsing. The pocket was collapsing. So he threw it to Saint, didn't get the completion that like was just out of Saint's reach. But it's like, I know there are other quarterbacks in this league that are going to be like, well, I know that what Jamo's route is. Let me turn around and go see if he's available. And I could see him getting, frustrated, seeing other quarterbacks doing that, taking the extra step, making the low percentage throw for the, high percentage or the high impact play. I should say. Yeah. So I don't know, but I just don't see him being a diva. I really don't. And I see him getting more targets, hopefully, please.
Well, here's the things about this. So I've got JMO's game log pulled up. I'm gonna read this to you real fast.
I don't
So
want to hear this.
through 7 games, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? Last season, JMO was 1,000-yard receiver, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So far through the season, game 1, 4 targets. I'm sorry, 4 receptions, 5 targets, 23 yards. Game 2, 2 receptions, 4 targets, 108 yards. Game 3, 2 receptions, 3 targets, 43 yards. Game 4, 2 receptions, 8 targets, 40 yards. Game 5, 1 reception, 1 target, 9 yards. Game 6, 6 receptions, 7 targets, 66 yards. Game 7, 0 receptions, 2 targets, 0 yards. He's gone over 100 one time in 7 games. And so, I mean, and the rest of these are, he's got 2 40s, a 40, 43, a 66, a 23, a 9, and a 0. Like, I could see where that would, like, bro, I'm out here running targets against air. Like, you know what I mean? I'm never getting the ball. And it's like, I'm not saying that there is a problem. What I'm saying is that he had posted something on his Instagram showing frustration about it. And so it's never a good sign when you're coming off of a win and your receiver is unhappy about his targets.
Was he like in the whip, like driving home? Is he in his uniform still? Is he?
It was something, that like, I forgot what the second post was. They were both on his Instagram story. The first one was, that like annoyed, like the cartoon picture of like the annoyed LeBron like on his couch sitting there like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, like, you know what I mean? I understand that he's probably happy for the win. And Matt talked about before, like, Jamo had 9 yards, but was down there blocking his ass off. But it's like, at some point, I think that starts to wear on you. And so the good news is we're going into the bye. We're going to hopefully get some guys healthy, and then maybe they'll be able to have that conversation. It's just, I would like, as a fan, I feel like you always want to see the receiver talk to the coach, and you never hear about it, rather than us know about it on social media, because that's how that always starts with a Stephon Diggs or AJ Brown or whoever else it is. It's always like, oh, you see it on social media, and they're like, oh, where there's smoke, there's fire. So I just hope that they can put the fire out before it grows, because us having him on the team is great. But it's also like we've got an embarrassment of riches on our offensive like skill positions. Like we have 2 Pro Bowl running backs, Pro Bowl tight end, 2 Pro Bowl receivers. Like at some point, sometimes everyone's not going to eat. And it's just, I hope Jamo sticks it out, because a Super Bowl would be worth it.
It would be 100%. I mean, we just signed him, so like, unless outside of him, pulling some crazy shit and requesting a trade, hopefully the targets come back and they start working him into the offense better. I mean, it's something Johnny Mo talked about right out the gate that he wanted to get going, and we haven't seen it. I mean, I know they tried it a fair amount in week 1. I think what did we say? He had 4 or 5 targets in week 1, but I don't know. It just that obviously the offense wasn't gelling that week. It seems like he does the best when our offense isn't gelling, which is a problem. We need to get him in the offense as a cog in the wheel, So
yeah.
But no, the big thing, biggest takeaway from this is just how the defense held out was just amazing. They stopped them 3 times in a row on 4th down. One of them was an 18-play drive where they had already got the Bucs had already gotten 2 4th down conversions, and the Lions stopped them again at the 12-yard line, I believe. So it's like, a lot of teams would have folded. I mean, you saw the Giants and Broncos game. There was 6 minutes left in that game when the Broncos got in the end zone, made it 24-8 to 24-16. I mean, that could have easily happened to us. You know, they were 12 yards away, and they didn't let it happen. They didn't waver. MCDC's just got the guys coached up right. He's got his coaches coached up right and coaching these guys up right. And I think that goes for offense and defense, and they're just going to keep getting better. So I understand the concerns too. Like, I get what you're saying, but a win's a win. Obviously, I know you know that. You know, we're not going to discredit that, and hopefully, in a couple of weeks when we got to face Philly, we're ready.
Last thing that I want to say on this, and not to beat this topic into the ground, but we had a battle between basically who I have as my current MVP of the NFL so far, and someone that you are saying should get more attention for it. I think that it's hard because it's a primetime game, right? So all of America is watching. And you've got Jared Goff on one side, not having to do very much. Granted, he did throw a touchdown and an interception, and for 241 yards he threw, which is crazy. I didn't even realize he threw that much, but a lot of that came in the first drive. The whole rest of the game, Gibbs for 3 more quarters.
Well, and 89 of Goff's pass yards were Gibbs, you know, or 80, whatever, 86. So
well, there we go. On the other side, you've got Baker Mayfield, who's literally got nobody. Like, you know what I mean? Not that these guys are nobodies, but I mean, Ibuka and Tez are both rookies, and then you've got his tight end. All the other receivers are hurt. Running back 1 is hurt. And still, I mean, he didn't put up that many points. It was at 9 or something like that. I mean, they got manhandled.
1
but,
touchdown. Yeah.
Yes. But you're seeing it's like, all right, well, you got one guy who's got so much help that Jamo didn't even need a target. On the other side, you've got somebody that literally the only reason that you still had faith that they could maybe do this in the fourth quarter was because Baker was over there. That,
yeah.
Enough said, as I would say, to the MVP case. Do you have anything to say? No? Okay.
No, I got nothing. I ain't going to slander my quarterback, but I ain't going to disagree with you. Not that you're slandering him, but
I'm not slandering him. I'm just saying that less is asked of him, and I think that makes it harder to win the MVP. That's all. That was my week 1 take on. Remember when we thought the Ravens were going to be good, and I was like, well, did you see Mark Andrews? Damn, my names are terrible. Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry in the backfield with Lamar. It's going to be hard for him versus Josh Allen. Now we having the same conversation about Lamar or about Goff and Baker. Thank you. Okay. Let's keep it pushing. Last night was the return of the NBA season. Very, very happy with that. NBC did their thing, making that, and I know I'm not alone. I saw a lot of people on social media talking about that. The way that they made the product feel was a breath of fresh air compared to like TNT or ESPN, where it's like the focus is the game and everything else is secondary. And I liked that with NBC. But we had 2 matchups, Rockets versus Thunder, Lakers versus Warriors. Now, I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. I was out to dinner with my family last night. I did not see any of regulation, but I saw both overtimes for the Rockets and the Thunder. Here are my takeaways from this, and then I'm going to let you go.
Timeout. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, we don't have any left, do we? Oh, no, you wouldn't get it. I didn't see the fourth quarter, but
No. That wasn't the fourth quarter. That was second overtime.
Oh, you're right. That was OT, wasn't it?
And that's on my list to talk about. I'm so happy you brought that up. Bro, Kevin Durant. First of all, I want to say Sengun.
Hey.
That man is a monster. He's picked right back up for where he did last season of just looking like an incredible player. Because I remember watching the playoffs last year, like, who is this guy? And he was giving him work last season. He's giving him work this season.
He's a monster, bro. Those 3-pointers.
Whew. Here's my my KD thoughts. I understand. I was texting you and Toph about this last night, and Toph was saying, like, all right, Sengun's had a mismatch all game. KD's just making the right plays, which I understand that to a point. I mean, that used to always be like I've spent years listening to people criticize LeBron over like, oh, you didn't take the last shot. You passed it to Kyle Korver. Or you passed it to so-and-so, George Hill. Like, why did you not take the shot? And it's like, all right, I just made the right play. Okay, that's cool in a single shot. I feel like the Rockets did not get Kevin Durant so that I could watch double overtime and not see Kevin Durant take over either of those overtimes. It was Sengun both ways. Sengun blocking somebody, Sengun dunking or hitting a shot. The whole 2 overtimes. Now, what I will say is that it does add a level of danger because I was just paying attention during these overtimes. Some of these were like, okay, KD's got the ball. KD is double team. Boom, Sengun's open. So it makes them more dangerous of having to give him the respect of the player that he is to open someone else up. That definitely makes them more dangerous. And I'm not saying that KD was making the wrong plays. I am, however, surprised at the little amount of takeover and a double overtime that a player of Kevin Durant's stature would have. You would expect to hear him like, okay, that's why I would think that a team would invest so much in you is like, look, we were in the playoffs last season. We were short one Kevin Durant. So when it's time to deliver us from evil, Kevin Durant put the cape on and take us there. That didn't happen. Down to the point of the second overtime, KD get the ball back, pull a J.R. Smith, trying to call a timeout, and he's lucky that didn't happen because then that would have been free throws. Or actually, I'm sorry, that might have been the end of the first overtime because then they went into second overtime. But still, my point is like, all right, bro, like, was your brain even checked in, or are you just trying to go home? Just give them the free throws. Let's get out of here. What's your thoughts?
So my big takeaway is that it's a new team, like, and it's going to take a little time. I know it's different because he had the off season and Luka didn't, but Luka did not come in and immediately, like, go crazy and take over everything. And I mean, he had some good games, but there were some in there in between where we were like, all right, this isn't why we traded for Luka, and it was like the Reeves show. Like, why are we seeing Austin Reeves pop off? And so I just think it's going to take time for everybody to flow together. I think Amen Thompson, like Toph said, was doing too much there towards the end. He's all over the place defensively, which is a good thing, but I think he was giving up bad positions sometimes, like jumping to a double or trying to put himself in a soft spot or something like that and leaving somebody else open. So they'll clean that up, and they're going to get KD going. Like I mean, they're going to find a way to make that happen. Obviously, it's freaking KD, but it was a little concerning that how easy it was for the Thunder to kind of game plan him. But I do think that the Rockets will right that. To him not having much of an impact in overtimes, he got into foul trouble pretty quickly into him. So I think that was part of it. And then on defense, Shea just kept running at him down the lane. And I don't know why he chose to guard Shea on that last possession and foul himself out, but like, you're the last person we need in a one-on-one right now against the guy who forces the most fouls in the entire league. So yeah, I thought that was dumb. I don't know if that was his decision or coach's decision, but
I mean, you're supposed to be their best player. Like, my best player, your best player. That's basketball.
I hear you.
Let's see who's really got it. Like, you know what I mean?
Right, but
I understand.
Your best player needs to be able to shoot the last shot, and he didn't have the opportunity because he fouled out.
Hey,
or to set up that last play.
Sengun was the best player in that overtime. So I
understand, but it's the same thing as why Halliburton was taking those shots at the end of games last year when he was having a bad game. You get it to the clutch guy. You don't get it to the guy who's just you. I mean, sometimes you do, but you can still count on that clutch guy even if he's had a bad game with 1 second on that clock. And KD's one of them ones. So
absolutely, I'm not taking away from that. The last thing I'll say about KD before I move on to the next point is just the fact that I feel like we haven't seen a dominant KD since that he was in Brooklyn playing against the Bucks, that famous toe on the line game. That was the last time I remember seeing a dominant KD. KD in Phoenix reminded me, he was a factor, but he wasn't the factor. You had him and Devin Booker, and it didn't work out. I just am concerned, and it's only one game to start the season off. I just hope that we see a dominant KD with the Rockets. I don't want to see the Kevin Durant who's just chipping in like everybody else. They didn't get Kevin Durant so Sengun can continue to be him. If they were going to do that, they would have just left it the same as they did last season in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying with that. I hope that we see more from him. I'm not piling on. I'm not trying to say that, he's cooked or he's washed. I just hope that we see more from KD as the season progresses.
Same.
From the Thunder perspective of it, Those boys looked good. Those boys looked good. Um, to use
No
Toph's
hangover
words,
here.
SGA second half of last game possessed. That man had, I think, 3 points in the first half and finished with like 30 or something like that. I don't have the stats in
Yeah.
front of me. That boy was going crazy. In the overtime, looking good. You got Chet hitting threes in overtime. It's gonna be a real nasty, tough out for the Thunder, whoever has to play them this season. And SGA looks like he's in mid-season form already. The way that he was cooking with that ball and the hit up, bruh, insane.
I don't think he took a day off, dude, since the championship. I really don't. His handles are so good. His shot is so smooth. I mean, the mid range looked even more lethal in that like hand in his face, don't care. It was awesome. It was really cool.
And if I'm not mistaken, once again, I don't have the stats in front of me. I want to say I saw him hit a three or two, which would be an even nastier situation to have with SGA. That was always his thing, was he was a mid-range killer, but not a three-point shooter.
I'm pretty sure the one was it the foul on KD was that a three or no? The last foul on KD?
I think that's what I was thinking of. Yep. Okay,
Yeah.
so he was 1 of 9, so not crazy, but he hit that three. Yeah, I think it was
He
an
hit that at
overtime.
the
So
end. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. But yeah, Thunder gonna be scary. Let's kick it over to the Warriors and Lakers. I really just have like three points on this. Luka is still him, 43 points. Austin Reeves, I'm all back aboard the all. Austin Reeves is a baby star. He
So
is
it
a baby star.
begins.
26 points for my man Reeves last night. Ball handling all the time. I mean, you guys saw a lot of Luka off ball last night, where you're trusting Reeves to carry the ball up there. It's gonna help Luka, especially without LeBron, stay not tired, be able to carry more with Reeves handling the ball, and he looked good with it. So big three, big four. I mean, you got 8 in there too. But anyways,
8 and 8, part of a big three. Get out of here.
the Lakers had some ups and some downs. They did cut it really close. I think they cut it to like a 5-point game in the fourth quarter at one point, and the Warriors pulled away from it still. All I'm seeing is that if they can do what they did last night, and then you can add a LeBron back into it, and LeBron can be the second or third best player on the team, I think that things look really good. That's all I want to say about the Lakers side of that. The Warriors, you talk about a team. Oh, that's another thing too, to your Kevin Durant point about having the whole offseason. Now I know that Luka and Jimmy both had part of last season on the other teams and then a full offseason. But
Right.
you had a Luka have the offseason to get fully into the Lakers offense, 43 points. Jimmy Butler having a whole offseason, 31 points. He led the entire Warriors team in scoring. Kevin Durant, anyways,
Still had
Jimmy
a
had.
good game, bro. Chill.
I'm just saying that the two other players
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
were
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
takeover players.
First game
Um,
with the team. They've played games with the team before. Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
yeah, that's true. It's true. It's definitely true. But Jimmy, 31 points to Steph's 23. The announcers even were talking about the fact that last season Jimmy came there, they didn't have really time to figure stuff out, so they were just kind of trying to just play backyard basketball. Now they've had a whole offseason to really draw up plays and get that full offensive flow going. And yeah, like I said, Jimmy, usually it's playoff Jimmy. He's not great in the regular season. Jimmy at 31 points and Steph at 23, like, you turn Steph into a Robin, this is going to get real scary.
Dude, yeah, if Jimmy could keep that up, woo! Talk about a
Yeah.
team that could contend with OKC. That's a tough out too if they stay consistent.
All we got to do is keep everybody healthy, because last season
Yep.
Steph got hurt in the playoffs, and it was good night Irene. But
Hmm.
you keep the two of them healthy this whole time, they might be another really nasty team in the West.
I love seeing the Warriors do well. Love Steve Kerr. Um, yeah. So I mean, sorry it had to be at the expense of your Lakers, but yeah, good signs for Golden State going forward this season, and not bad signs for honestly all four of those teams could end up being really good teams. Who knows? I mean, or two or four of them could all fall off the face of the earth. Who knows? I mean, I doubt it for especially the second game, both of those teams and the Thunder. If any of them are going to fall off, it would be the Rockets, but I don't really see that either. But yeah, I just it's going to be a good season, man. That was a really good start to the year. couple
Oh
of
yeah.
really exciting games with some heavy hitters.
And people were talking about how game one seemed like, you're like, damn, is this a first game of the season or a game 7? Like
Right,
I love
right.
I love that. I hope it's a good basketball season. I hope that all of the season is as good as last night was.
Hey, that's good for our business if it's a good basketball season too.
True. But yeah, all 4 teams definitely have a lot of stuff that they can take away from the games, whether they won or lost. Of like, okay, like, we're feeling good about us right now. Rockets
Hmm.
were this close, and
Right.
the Lakers put up a hell of a fight without having LeBron there. So yeah, I would say good.
Hmm.
Let's hit some all the disrespect and get on out of here. You want to go
Yeet.
first?
Yeah, let me start us off. Going back to football here. All due disrespect to Woody Johnson, the Jets owner. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, I mean that's obvious. I'm sure lots of Jets fans are like, "Yeah, no shit, pal." But basically, I want to touch on what he's doing to his fans right now, and just the level of defeated that they're at. There was a kid getting interviewed, a kid that got stopped and interviewed by
Oh,
some
dog. I
YouTuber.
saw this.
I know it's going dummy viral right now. And as two Lions fans, man, we can relate to this. Like just being like, yeah, yeah, all right. So I'll quote what the kid said. He gets stopped for the interview and he says, "What do you know? How are you feeling after this loss?" And the kid goes, uh, "I hate this team. I was born into this. I'll always be a Jets fan, but." Yeah, I hate this team. And then he walked away like fighting off the tears. I felt so bad for young Buck, man. It was just hard to see. I could see myself as a kid leaving bad Pistons seasons or, the 19th straight loss from a Lions game and just being depressed and thinking there's no future. And it, by all intents and purposes, there probably isn't a future if you're a Jets fan right now, at least not anytime soon. Um, Woody was asked about his confidence in AG a couple days ago as well, and he completely flipped the question and threw the blame on Justin Fields' play and was like, "When you have quarterback rankings like this is how games are going to end up. Any coach is going to have these problems." Blah 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 blah. And I mean, we've talked about this at nauseum because Spencer wanted to offshore Justin Fields to me in our fantasy league, but. Uh, Justin Fields really hasn't been that bad this year. Like, yes, he's had some problems, but like the other than the London game and his 2 games where he got hurt, like he's performed decently. I know he needs to do a little bit better job at taking care of the football, but um, it's all correctable things that will take time and that any smart owner would know to keep that inside and go to AG about that and be like, "Hey, what are we doing here? What are we thinking here? Are you thinking we need to draft somebody? Should I go to should we tell the GM to go to free agency and like look around there for a backup? Like, what are you feeling here? Where's your temperature at with this, And but no, he has to go and air shit out to the media, and Justin Fields is sitting somewhere like, "Hey, yo, like, can I get any love anywhere I go? Can I get anyone to support me at all?" Like, so I mean, I don't know. All due disrespect to him being a terrible owner, to the Jets organization. Um, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it, but hopefully AG and his culture can turn it around. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately, but I don't think he's going to be given the time to let it happen or the resources.
um, the Justin Fields thing. I mean, I watched them duel Aaron Rodgers week 1. They were so close to beating the Bucks a few weeks ago. And now
True.
Garrett Wilson is hurt. We talked about this, I think, on the last episode. Name another receiver on that team other than Alan Lazard, and you're expecting Justin Fields, like, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
the funny thing to me is like, okay, so now we're looking at going to Tyrod Taylor. I'm sorry, Tyrod. I think is how you pronounce his name. So
Yeah.
we're looking at going to him. My man's came in the second half and threw 2 picks. Like, I don't
I
know.
know. It's not like
It's
it's not like they can bench him for anybody.
they were talking. Woody Johnson did talk about the fact that, like, football 101 is if you can't make them respect the pass, then they're just going to stuff the box and you can't run. So it is hard to come in when you're losing already and then just try to throw your way back into the game with Garrett Wilson
True.
out. But I mean, yeah, Woody Johnson kind of an asshole for making that public. Don't know why you would say some stuff like that, but Woody Johnson that's on brand for him.
Hmm.
The last thing that I'll say, and you brought this up, and Matt brought this up, I think, on last Wednesday before you hopped on. was just talking about if Aaron Glenn is going to have the time to do what he needs to do over there to turn it around. The one thing I will say from the Woody Johnson interview is the fact that does seem positive, at least. The fact that they're like, the fact that he put it all on Justin Fields, it sucks,
True.
but he was very high in his praise for Aaron Glenn. He's like, he's already turned it around in certain spots. He's like, we just need a quarterback that I think he even said can complete a pass. He said that he's always been a big fan of Aaron Glenn since he was a player there, and that he's got full confidence in him to be able to do that. So hopefully it's not just lip action and you actually allow him the time to do this.
True. Yeah, I mean, he saw what happened when, I mean, look, if we're 10 weeks into year 2 of the AG, like the AG time period or whatever, and they're still like they have 2 wins or something total or 3 wins. All right, then we can start talking about canning him because obviously it's not working. But like,
That's
give
still
him
only
at least.
that's still only not even a full season, and his quarterbacks are Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor.
I'm saying next season, if this is still the case, like next season, week 10, like give him this entire year and then like another full training camp and some time to get, like hopefully wins 5-6 games next year. Ooh, I almost did it. And 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 then you can justify bringing him back for a third. I don't know. It's just you gotta be patient, especially when he's completely rebuilding everything.
The only thing I would say to your timeline is I feel like that timeline only starts once you have a quarterback. Plenty of coaches in the league have looked terrible if you don't have a quarterback. And depending on what happens this offseason, if you still come into the offseason and your best quarterback you can get in free agency is Gardner Minshew, we're still not really being able to evaluate him as a coach.
Right. Very good point. Very good point.
Okay. Do you have any other ones or no?
Nope, that's it for me.
Okay.
Send it.
I got a list that I'm going to get through fairly quickly. The first one, I don't know if you guys heard this soundbite from Sean Payton and then Russ's response to it, but let's take a listen to this.
Respect for that organization. I spent 4 of my early years there coordinating Super Bowl, first game in this stadium before 9/11, close with the mayor, Tisch family. And, they found a little spark with that quarterback. I was talking to John Mayer not too long ago, and I said we were hoping that change would have happened long after our game.
So that was Sean Payton on the Giants, which have obviously Russell Wilson as the backup. The change he was talking about was going from Russ to Jackson Dart. Russ obviously played a season with Sean Payton. Russ, this is crazy. So Russ has always been Mr. Classy, Mr. Never Respond to anything. That man comes out and tweets, classless but not surprised. Didn't realize you're still bounty hunting 15 plus years later through the media. Sunglasses emoji, laughing face, hashtag let's ride.
Damn. Was he saying that? What did he type that from his private office in the facility? Or?
Hey, look, there's all I'm going to say is this. Why on earth are you as a head coach of one team talking about what another team should do with their quarterback situation?
Yeah, that's bad. I don't know what.
It is classless. It is classless. And Russ was within his right to say that. Now, I wish that Russ would have the opportunity to go put 40 on Sean Payton to really rub it in, but that's probably not going to happen. But, I mean, you don't have to be good or currently good because he's been good before, but you don't have to be currently good to be able to say, hey, that was out of pocket. And it was. So all the disrespect to Sean Payton.
Yeah, that's messed up. He's totally, with this coaching tenure with the Broncos, he's totally on this, like, I just don't give a fuck, like, attitude, I mean, hey, they're getting wins. Their team's looking good. But, yeah, a lot of things I love about his coaching. I mean, he trained our coach, so I can't hate him for a lot of the things he coaches and the, things he believes in. But the way he goes about them sometimes, I'm like, eesh.
Hey, wrong is wrong. Maybe he and Woody Johnson start hanging out. They just want to take shots at people for no reason.
Yeah. Tell everybody what they should do with their quarterback situation.
My second all due disrespect was whoever thought that putting the second Monday Night Football game that late was a good idea. Y'all broke the social contract. Y'all broke the social contract. The social contract of the sports in the United States is that the East Coast sees things at evening time and the West Coast sees things in the afternoon. That is the social everyone is okay with that. West Coast knows that when you wake up for football on Sundays, that your day starts at 8:30, where people in Eastern time get to start at 1. That is the contract. It's different for basketball when you have a West Coast game. You know, you got like Warriors versus the Kings. Okay, that's all in California. We can go ahead and schedule that late. Why on earth is an NFL game starting at 10 p.m. Eastern?
True.
That
is
disgusting. That's disgusting. And so, because of that,
NFL, man, come on, you want all the views you can get, like, and you know people will watch if they're awake.
And you didn't even. It wasn't even like, you know, Mahomes versus Josh Allen. It was the Seahawks versus the Texans. Both of us,
Sam Darnold and CJ Stroud.
Both of us fell asleep during that game. Like, and I'm not mad at it. I woke up at 3 a.m. dazed and confused with SportsCenter on, so I was able to catch up on some stuff on the game. Now, one thing that I saw before I fell asleep leads me to my next all due disrespect. I hate the NFL being the no fun league. Jackson, Smith, and Jigba going to catch a touchdown and dunk. And I know there comes a flag because you can't use a prop. So you had the goalpost and the football. You know what I mean? Or I guess the football you can use, but not the goalpost. Mm-hmm. So you can't use a prop. That's a flag for that. I don't understand how it hurts the game. Like, I don't like it, but I get at least where taunting is coming from, of being like, okay, that's bad sportsmanship. Let's not do that. How is dunking? How does that hurt the game? If anything, it just makes it fun for the fans. Oh, you see my Jigba hanging up there. But no, we want to be not fun and throw the flag on it. I'll do disrespect to the NFL. Nah.
So I'll say the kickers probably hate that, because then the goalposts start shaking, and you know. But outside of that, like, no, everybody else is cool with it. But the kickers are probably like, man.
You think it's still shaking like a minute later when they kick?
Yeah, I mean, especially outdoor ones, like with the wind going, and you hit it, it's going to keep, like, up high. It's going to keep wobbling from the wind and stuff.
Okay.
But outside of that, nobody else gives a shit.
Except the NFL. And you dunk it, the ref is right next to him, just right there. Throw the flag. All right, I want to end the show with 2 all due respects. The first one is all due respect to the referee that tried to save Jackson Smith and Jigba's life the other night. I don't know if you saw this or not. Basically, he was in it with a defensive player, and they were kind of like tied up, and the defensive player like ripped his helmet off. And so Jackson Smith and Jigba shoved him. They're on the sidelines. Everyone comes into the scrum. Jackson Smith and Jigba doesn't have his helmet on. He already had kind of beef with the player initially. He goes and sits down on the bench. He's got his hands up, basically indicating like, yo, I'm done fighting. I don't have a helmet on. I'm trying not to get hurt out here. The coaches from, I think, the Texans, because I think it was on the Texans sideline, all kind of like were trying to push the players back. The referee, dog, have you ever seen that picture, like the cartoon of like Jesus, where he's standing in front of somebody and he's got like a bunch of knives in his back blocking him for like the kid sitting on the ground?
Yes.
The ref
That's
did
exactly
that for
what I was
Jigba,
thinking.
dog. He came over him, stood over him, and put both arms over him like this, and just completely shielded him off from all the other players. That is so brave. The ref has got his back turned to a bunch of men trying to fight in Jigba. He's got no pads on.
Mm-hmm.
You've got no pads on protecting a player from all the other players. I saw that and I was like, he is going to be my all due respect. Like, that is incredible. So often you see refs do bullshit, like when the Bears player was walking and the ref backed into him and then threw a flag on it. Like, refs are so often on bullshit. The fact that a ref would come over and put his body between a guy with pads and other guys with pads to keep him safe. I'm not sure what his name is, but shout out to you, sir. That is exemplary.
I'm sure he just had the over on receiving yards for JSN. You're like, oh, this nice ref. He's thinking of other people, and he's like, hey, don't hurt this guy. He needs to play.
Oh,
no, I'm kidding. No, that was really cool that he laid his body out like that. Pause. And that he put himself in front of 15 300-pound men trying to, like, for lack of a better term, beat the crap out of JSN. That was a cool moment. That was very selfless.
Yeah. Okay. Last, all due respect, want to give a big shout out and a thank you to over the weekend. Lexi had a surprise birthday party for me on Saturday, which in itself was cool. But also, she got and I was so surprised when I saw this. I came home from work, and here comes walking out the door Lexi and Jake. For everyone who doesn't know him, he was on the podcast like 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday episode. But
always
Jake,
always in the comments. Play yourself.
always in the comments. Yep.
Big fan.
And his girlfriend Meg. So they came out here to Chicago for the night, surprised me, and hung out. So that meant a lot. That was really cool. So all due respect to Lexi, to Jake, and to Meg. Appreciate you guys for making it a great weekend.
Heck yeah, man.
That's all I got. You got anything else?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's about it.
Thank you. We will be live again next Wednesday. This is just a one-off for us today. And then before Wednesday, though, you obviously see the next recorded episode coming out on next Monday, covering Sunday's games. So thank you guys for all watching us, and we will see you guys later. Late Entry, we out. #Let's ride.